Welcome back, everybody. This is going to help everyone level up their creative drawing skills. You're going to do a couple of choice projects here. You can also select your own idea. This is the kind of concept that I'm looking for as far as a printable design, something that maybe is see-through. This we could even do if you want to get really ambitious. This is just clever. It's a thin plastic piece that just slips into this slot. That's a pretty easy situation to make happen. But I want you to do a gnome and a gingerbread house or two similar types of challenges. Something with the year on it. I actually drew that in there, and you can put the year on anything using texts in these programs. So just back to here. This is the picture that I ended up saving to my computer. I want to make sure everybody knows to use. I'm pointing out shortcuts here too. The D is how you can turn your dimension tool on, so you can just hit the D on the keyboard instead of hunting up there for that, and it's going to be whatever measurement you pulled it to. It doesn't matter because you just make it 100 millimeters and enter. That way it would be big enough to 3D print if you want to. That's going to end up being in your first sketch. You're always going to add a second sketch. I've already got my second sketch in this program. You just double click on it and that launches the second sketch. You only ever want two sketches when you're doing this. We're going to use the spline tool. In this case is what I'm choosing. You can do this another way, but if you get the hang of this tool, it's a little bit more energy, but it gets you really where you want to be as far as accuracy and flexibility, because you can fix any click point and you can edit. And the challenge is to just know you got to click more often when you're doing sharper turns like this. You end up working against yourself by clicking any more than you absolutely have to. I see in so many cases individuals will put all this energy into being accurate and click a whole bunch here. And when you really end up doing is giving the program so much more input information that it slows it down and gets in your way and uses all of your energy and time. So you'll see in a moment here where I'm going with this. Completion on just that specific shape. If I hide the picture behind it, you can see that that's grayed out, which means everything's connected up. You can remind yourself that at that point too, that you're just using an image as a guide. Don't get after yourself for making mistakes, so to speak. If you hit escape, you get this white arrow. You can always go back here and you can adjust any of these points. So you can also slide the points up and down and maneuver them around. And then what I want you to see here specifically is offset as O. If you click this single entity, let's see, is this not going to work now? It's got too much information on it. Scratch that. I want to restore the sketch, but I'm not going to use the offset situation. Back at it. Double click this. Good lesson either way. In some cases, this is what I was just trying to do, so you can see if it's not too complicated, you can take a spline like I just got there and double it up. And I was going to use that and duplicate it, but I haven't done this before, and it just ended up being too much for the program. That happens. It's fine. In some cases, if you're 3D printing something, you're going to want to make it a little bit bigger anyway. So your splines might end up being, out further specifically. Let's just do a couple of different things here so you can see. Some options. Let's look at the nose here. An ellipse is generally from the midpoint out like this. And you can try and match up tools to make your life a little bit easier. If you see something that looks like a common shape, oftentimes it is. And I'm going to hit the escape key here and grab this and pull it into position. So there's so many ways to do this, but really you only need a couple of examples for this to work. Actually, let's do one more fun one because I like this tool, the 3-point circle. If you ever have a circle and you need to map it out, 3-point circle exists in all these programs where you can just click any 3 spots on that circle and it's going to map it. Alright, so now you've got 3 outline shapes to see how this works. What's going to happen is when you go to make these things 3D, you're just going to pick and decide what you want to be certain thicknesses. It's going to maybe select everything like this. You do is you click inside the shape or shapes, depending on what you're looking for. It's going to be very thick. You're not going to want to make anything more than a total of 5 millimeters for something like this. Even that would be maybe 4. What you do is you finish that, it's going to hide the sketch because that's just what it does. It hides it so it doesn't look all messy when you're working as you go. You want that hidden, but you turn it back on and you can click in these shapes and make them different altitudes, so to speak. Something like this, like a nose and a round hat part. You might also want to modify after the fact with something like this. Well, this is just demonstration. Fill it. You could always sculpt your designs, so you might want to let me do both. Should. But you want things individually extruded, and you do that by way of turning on the visibility of the sketch, and then each one of these parts, if you click on a part, click away from something, click on the nose. If you wanted to recolor the nose specifically, you can right click, edit the appearance, and however you want to go about recoloring and make it realistic or make it artsy. It's up to you. Click on that, it highlights the part. It's just for demonstration purposes, so you can see what you can do and be creative with. Clearly I'm just playing around, but it's the controls that you need to understand, and that you're always drawing all of your lines in the one sketch too, and regardless, your lines are on one sketch, but you're able to turn that one sketch into a lot of different 3D parts that'll all blend together to make your final result. So enjoy, take your time, do your best. It's never going to be perfect, but that's perfect. It's all one of a kind creative design stuff. So let me know if you need a hand. See you soon.